and welcome to Cooking with Science. We're your hosts, Alex L-Train Lightamaki.
And I'm just Leo.
He's just Leo. And today we're doing an American classic. That's right, kids, a classic.
Today, we are embarking on a journey to make American sandwich bread.
This is the finest American product ever, so I hope you all enjoy it. Alright, let's discuss our ingredients. You're going to need whole milk, that's the red cap, salt, honey, flour, that's really important, don't forget your flour, and last but not yeast, yeast. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do is adjust your oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit because we're in America. Let it stay at 200 degrees for 10 minutes straight, then turn it off. Don't ask questions.
Next, we're going to mix 3.5 cups of flour and 2 teaspoons of salt, which are your dry ingredients, in your dry ingredients bowl.
And we prefer Morton iodized salt. It's the top brand.
Here's 1 cup.
Now careful kids with the flour, it tends to make a hot mess around here, as Leo is clearly demonstrating. Wow, we're going to need to clean up on aisle 3. And then the last half cup. Okay, you're doing a really bad job. And after the flour, what do, Leo?
We're going to combine 1 cup of milk, a 1/3 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of honey, and our envelope of yeast in our 4-cup pitcher.
Here on Cooking with Science, we take yeast really seriously, and we always have a little yeast on hand. So, we're about to get really yeasty here, and I'm going to call in our yeast connoisseur, Professor Austin Yeast Fishman. Welcome, Austin. Come on in. Now, kids at home, please take notes.
So everybody, I believe these 2 fine young gentlemen have just introduced the yeast to this recipe. And the yeast is really the thing that makes bread, you know?
Really?
And what happens with yeast is a fungus, actually, a living organism. You guys know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, well it is.
Wow.
And so, like any other organism, it's going to go through cellular respiration.
Now, what is that?
Well, Alex, it is a process. The first step we like to call glycolysis, where the yeast will turn the glucose molecule into 2 pyruvate molecules.
Cool.
Now, the next step is really important. It's called fermentation. Now, fermentation is where the yeast will turn the pyruvate molecule into 2 products. One of them is ethanol, which is an alcohol, but that's going to get baked off in the oven. So, don't worry about that.
Don't want to make alcoholic bread.
The other product, carbon dioxide gas, which, like I just said, is a gas, will make the bread rise, making bread, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
And who likes flat bread? Except some people do like matzah, but it's for a different time. So, we're here about sandwich bread.
American.
We're going to want that rise. And that's why yeast is so important.
Excellent, wow.
Let's get back to work.
So we're going to mix this dough until we have a smooth and satiny
Consistency.
consistency. That's the word I was looking for. Alright.
Watch him go.
Scoop it right out of the bowl.
That's nice.
And then you're going to flour a surface. I don't know if that's a verb.
Which is what we have here.
Try to get as much of it as you can
Yeah.
to get the full 9 inches of American
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay, so once your dough is in a nice ball and it's covered in flour, what you're going to do is you're going to take a a bowl that can withstand a heat over the oven, spray it with some oil or Pam nicely, so it's all around the edges like Leo is doing. Then you're going to want to take the dough, put it inside the bowl, and knead it across the edges so that every single surface touches the oil, which Leo is doing right now very nicely. Good job.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay, now after that is set, we're going to cover the top in plastic wrap and then put it in the warmed oven until it doubles its size. So you can estimate it'll be about almost all the way to the top now. And that should take around 40 to 50 minutes, give or take.
For the sake of time, we're going to explain to you what we do next after the dough has doubled in size. When you retrieve your dough, you're going to make it into a rectangle that's approximately 1 inch by 9 inches, and then you're going to roll it up like Play-Doh, and then you're going to put it in your 9-inch pan, seam side down.
Then after, you're going to put it back in the oven and leave it in there. It should be around half an hour maybe until it rises to double its height again. You take it out after that, let it cool first because it will be hot. Take it out of the pan, put it on a nice plate, slice it up for your friends, and enjoy. Okay, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Cooking with Science. Next week we'll be doing pickle fermentation, which is fun. See you next time.